Welcome to the EMEA Recruitment podcast in partnership with our friends at international medical charity Operation Smile. If you can help us raise vital funds for Operation Smile's work around the world, please donate at emearecruitment.com/operation-smile. In this episode, we're joined by Jerome Vial, Country Manager Switzerland at CCH Tagetik. He discusses the ways in which he keeps spirits high in his team.
So hello everybody, welcome to the next episode of the EMEA Recruitment podcast in partnership with our good friends over at Operation Smile. As my colleague Rose has mentioned, we're delighted to welcome Jerome onto the show today. So hopefully you can still hear and see me okay, Jerome?
Yes.
Perfect. So I know, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, with the show being in partnership with Operation Smile, we always like to start this conversation with quite a light-hearted, easy question, really, to get you settled in, which is aligned to our partnership with those guys. And I just wondered, with that being said, what was the last thing that made you smile, Jerome?
Let me think, Paul. Well, it was, I think, this morning. My second daughter is called Pauline, and she spoke English to me, but she was imitating my French accent. She's very good at doing that, and that made me smile.
That's good. How old is she?
She's got 13 now. 13, yeah.
Okay. And she's you would say she's getting close to being bilingual, eh?
Exactly. Yeah, better than her father, yes.
Oh, it's a good skill to learn, and obviously when you're being based in Switzerland, you tend to find that language ability is very strong in that part of the world, with clearly French, German and English being widely spoken across the country. Is it something that you've tried to instill on Pauline and to try and get those language skills up there?
Yeah.
So that you've got the opportunities?
Yeah, my two daughters speak perfectly the full German, English and French. It's a big asset for them, and I'm very proud that they can do that. Yeah, it's very useful for them, for their career in the future. It will be very helpful. And as you said, Paul, it's a very good place, Zurich, to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's excellent. So it's great to hear, and I think it's another sign and another positive sign that people are getting back to a bit of normality. I mean, obviously you can still learn languages over the COVID period, but I think we tend to find that everyone seems to be in a lot more kind of positive frame of mind, a lot more focused now that things are getting back to normal from a COVID point of view, at least. But it's difficult to have a podcast like this and at this time, and we're recording it in October 2022 without reflecting on the last 3 years, really, because they have been tough, I think, for everybody in some shape or form, but really looking at it in a positive way. I mean, is there anything you feel you've really learned over that COVID period that you've taken as a positive lesson from the experience?
Yes, something what I started at the beginning of COVID, I set up a daily call with my whole team. So every morning we had that 8:45, 15 minutes with the 20 people in my team to really know what's going on, how we can help each other. So it has been a new thing, and we kept that after COVID. Very important to keep the team together, to help each other and keep the right spirit in a team. So that's something we got from the COVID, and we are keeping after the COVID.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. It's good to hear, because as you say, it was one of the challenges of most managers. They really had to adapt their style to keep the team engaged and motivated over that time, with it being so remote. And clearly, one of the questions I was going to ask you is linked to your current role. You're obviously the country manager of Switzerland for Tagetik and Walter's Kleur, and I wondered really how it feels for you now to be in this position.
Well, it's very exciting, because every day you have so many different topics to manage. So I really like it, because I have to manage everyday issues around sales, around IT, marketing, partners, new regulation, and so on. So it's very, very different roles I have every day. So I cannot plan my day. So I like that. It's very exciting to adjust to the need of the business and of the team every day. And clearly, what we clearly do at Tagetik is with my team is we have only one goal, is to really understand what our clients need and see how together with our partner, our solution, of course, can solve their issue for now and for the future. So, and this team approach is key. One solution and a strong team of very experienced people to address and cover the issue. That's what makes me drive my business the right way every day.
Mm-hmm. No, it's interesting because obviously the skill sets needed for the kind of role that you're doing is, almost say it's quite a unique and in-demand skill set, because you've got the technical ability with your accounting qualification that we'll talk about a bit later on, but it's the also bringing together the technical skills with the ability to deal with people across all areas of the business, so sales, IT, finance, being customer focused, so is this something, this ability to be able to do that, is that something that you have had to work on through your career to get to this level that you're at?
Yeah, thanks for asking this question, Paul. I've always dreamt to be an entrepreneur, and it took me 20 years to become one, part of a big group, of course, so not one to set up my company, but clearly be entrepreneur in developing our business very strongly in Switzerland. And it's really fun to bring all together what you mentioned before, technical sales skills, as well as sales, as well as management skills. And it's a very nice fit what I'm doing now, which I enjoy a lot every day.
No, that's good. And you mentioned two key words there. It's fun and you enjoy it, and I think if you can bring those two things together, then you bring your full energy and focus and drive into into whatever role you're doing. So it's great that you've managed to forge out this opportunity. And I think obviously, something that always helps with that is working with a product or service that is very, very relevant and it is really bringing value to your clients. And clearly with BI and data and so on, it's a huge discussion point and challenge for many companies out there. And I thought it'd be good to just ask you, what are the key benefits that the Tagetik brings to an organization that's using that software?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, what we offer is a unified platform to manage basically the figures from the company, for the group, okay, for the past, for the present, and for the future. It can be financial, operational, non-financial figures. So it's very, very broad. And we can do that in a very diverse ERP landscape at any group. Doing that, it means our client need less time to prepare the figures. Figures are consistent. They can trace them back to the ERP. And more important than anything else, they have more time there in the finance department to partner with the business to better support the business to grow and not losing time to reconcile figures or to prepare reports. That's very key what we are doing for that. Okay. What else can I do? I can say that it's really important to really partner, and what we do for that with Tagetik, we partner with our clients to bring the best expert to also have our client in the same industry to speak to each other when they can, to help each other. So we like this idea of community. Very important. And we have, in the meantime, and I'm very proud of that, 100 consultants specialized on Tagetik, working every day on project. Very strong expertise, and this is crucial to our success. Just a tool is not enough. You need to have the right expert to parameterize, to implement it to the need of the company. And within now 7 years, I've been building up this together with my team, this community of 10 partners to be able to bring value and quality to our clients.
No, it's really interesting to hear. And I think there's a few key things you mentioned there. I mean, clearly you emphasized the fact of the amount of time that the solution brings. And I think, time is one of those things that we all have equal amounts of, but the successful people and successful businesses use their their time better, you know, and become more efficient and effective. I mean, from that point of view, is there maybe a specific example, just to give us an idea of the amount of time that can be saved? I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to mention certain companies, but just give us an idea of the amount of time that is saved by using the product.
It's very dependent, and we are serving small, mid-size, very large size. One of our biggest clients, I will not say the name, but it's 60 billion company. I cannot say the word because otherwise we'll find out which company it is. Mm-hmm. But we are really working for, so it's very dependent on the size, basically. It can be for 2-3 months to a couple of years for a very complex planning project rolled out. So it's very diverse, but we make sure we are very transparent about the timeline and that we stick to a timeline, not to disappoint the client. So we are very transparent on that to deliver quality, but also on time as well with our partner together. Mm-hmm. And I have a funny story to tell you. I was attending a couple of weeks ago an event in Zug called the Swiss CFO of the Year, where they give an award to the best CFO in Switzerland. And at the apéro, one of our big clients was speaking to one of our big prospects, and he was recommending to the group CFO there, Tagetik. Mm. When I hear that, I have the feeling we are doing the thing right. It's a good feeling to hear that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good to hear, and yeah, any entrepreneur or business generally will hear that story and know that's the best way to grow. I mean, if you can grow through referrals and your network, then it's always the best.
In particular, in Switzerland, where it's a small country, people talk to each other, and you cannot. If you have issues, if you are not doing good work, it will be clear for everyone at some point. It's another pressure, but we're happy to take this pressure to deliver quality and make sure every client is happy with us.
No, and that's it. I mean, I think, you know, touching on it there as well. I mean, the customer service is a big part of this, because I think, you know, you can have the best product or service out there and have the best salespeople out there to get the customers in. But ultimately, you know, customer service and building a relationship long term is the thing that's you know, people really value. So is there anything that you feel really sets the customer service apart in the business?
Yeah, it's super important, Paul, that's for sure. We have clearly a customer service team in Switzerland and also one in our headquarters in Tuscany, in Italy. And it's very important. They really understand the business of our clients, also our solution in detail to really support our clients. And I was at our global conference 2 weeks ago in Tuscany, and I was pleased to hear how much our clients were happy. The feedback they gave about our customer service was very positive. So it's something very important for us for the long run as well of our success.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great to hear. And I think, you know, I think to have a great product or service going out externally, you obviously have to have a very strong culture and partnership internally as well. I think probably even more important on that side, because if you have a great internal team, then a lot of the hard work externally is already done, because everyone's enjoying life and saying and doing the right things for the product or service. So I know you mentioned earlier the size of the team. You mentioned that you've got 25 experts and partners across the business as well. So I mean, what do you think has been really key to getting these partnerships working?
It's very simple. I mean, we consider our partner and myself, of course, as part of our team. We speak to them every day, or at least once a week with them. We are close to them to support them. It's very important, because together from the beginning, we talk to a prospect with a partner. Together with the partner, we try to really understand the client's needs. Then we go and present with the partner our common approach for the project. Then we stay with the whole team on the side of the partner to make sure the project is a quality project. And when the project is finished, it's not finished. We still stay on the side with the partner of the client to make sure we can adjust to his needs and prepare possibly other project as well. So it's a long journey, and the partner are really part of our team. We do also dinner together with many partners. We know each other a lot. It's also human side is very important as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that over now 7 years, to bring this community, this trust between our team and the partner are super important. They cannot do without us, but also we cannot do without them. They have a lot of skills that we don't have. So we need to partner the right way to bring the best value to our customers.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of what we're talking about here, partnering, teams, creating culture and value and quality. The center of all of this is people. And I think we can't really have a discussion with you on a recruitment podcast without touching on the subject of great people and recruitment of these individuals. And I know over the years you've had some experience in bringing people into the companies you've worked at. So I thought I'd just ask you, is there anything from your experience, anything that you feel is key to create a efficient and effective recruitment partnership?
Yeah. Before answering your question, Paul, the most important thing I'm proud of, it is of course the clients we have been winning over the 7 years, but even more than that, the fact that almost no one in a team over the 7 years left my team. And this stability is so important to keep the good spirit, to keep the know-how in the team for our clients, and to attract also new talents. Because they see that if people are staying in the team, there must be a reason for that. Now, to answer your question, Paul, we take a lot of time for recruitment. First, we need to define what is the right person to fill the position. So we take a lot of time to explore which skills need to be there. Then we spend a lot of time with interviews. And I say we because it's a team is very much involved as well in the interview process. Even people who are not directly doing, if it's for pre-sales, doing technical things or not exactly working later on with this person, we want the whole team to appreciate the person, to have the feeling together that the values, the culture, that will be a fit to grow with this person. It's very important to have that, to take time with the team to onboard the right person. And then once you have selected the person, you need to make sure you are preparing nicely the onboarding on this person, making sure he will have the right plan to learn what he has to learn to be good. Okay. And we do for that a very clear onboarding plan with the whole team to make sure that the person will feel good from the day one and stay as many or as long as possible in our team for the success of our team.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great to hear you've got this very structured and a group approach, if you like, to bringing people into the business, involving people in the decision on who is hired as a team, getting the right cultural fit, having a clear definition of what you want rather than necessarily, outlining the needs and the wants. And then obviously, having a great onboarding process is really important as well. I know that was challenging, obviously, over the COVID times, but I think, it's great. And all of these things relate to the fact that you've got this great retention in the business, because I know a lot of companies will be quite envious of having an average of 7 years in the business is very good. I mean, do you think, is there anything else you think that is responsible for that retention of people? I mean, you've outlined how you bring people in. Is there anything you think that outside of that is responsible for the great retention you have?
Yes, it's clearly organizing events together outside work, because it's not just doing work together, but having also fun together. And we do that a lot to keep this team spirit. Important as well, I didn't mention, Paul, is clearly we are in Switzerland, as you mentioned before. Language is very important. So I need to keep in mind this dimension in the hiring process. We need our team, and our team speaks actually, not everyone, but together, English, German, French, and English. And that is super important to speak to our client and prospect in their own language. So we have that, and I make sure we have the right balance in the team, that our team can also cover the specificity of Switzerland with languages. It takes time to find, not easy to find the right expert with the right languages, but somehow we manage it.
No, but again, I think this relates back. I mean, you mentioned it in the answer. It's having fun. Again, it was something that was in common with what you mentioned about your own career. It is then passed into the team. You know, people are enjoying their job, having fun, and they stay longer in companies. That's for sure. And I think clearly, you know, with the language abilities, if people are able to communicate with everyone in their team in the language they prefer to talk in, then that also then has an impact on their enjoyment of being in the company and feeling part of the team. You know, so I think that's really a really strong setup that you have there. And I mean, the question that I usually like to ask people as well is about recruitment and how it makes them feel, because I mean, not everybody likes being involved in the recruitment process. I mean, it is one of the reasons why companies like EMEA actually exist, you know. But I don't, from your point of view, how does recruitment tend to make you feel?
Actually, I am very excited about that. It's a bit like building a puzzle, and to really find the missing part. Because as a team, we are never perfect. And of course, I would wish to have a bigger puzzle. But we cannot hire everyone on the market. But what I make sure is the puzzle is working and that every addition bring value to the team for our client. Okay. It's very important. Yeah. So very exciting about that. And I take a lot of time to make sure the puzzle is holding nicely there.
No, that's good. That's good. I think that's
and holding together. Everybody all together, and but everyone help each other. Okay, because sometimes, of course, we have pressure. We have project to deliver. We have difficult things. It's important that we really help each other and that everyone helps the other. It's so important for the spirit, and we have that. And I'm also sometimes I had this week, like yesterday, one of my sales was helping another sale. He was working on a prospect because he met this person at an event. It was not on his territory, but he said, I don't care. I want to help my colleague to develop there. And I told him it's exactly what I want to hear. It's exactly our values, what we have. And I'm very proud that these values are lived among the team every day.
No, again, great to hear, and I think things like values and ethics and diversity and inclusion initiatives and sustainability, they're all vital to companies' success, partly because the best people want to work for companies that have strong values and ethics. Kind of moving the topic into a slightly different area. I mean, we've been talking a lot about people and teams, and one of the things that is another challenge for a lot of companies and individuals at the moment is around BI and data, and I think there's no doubt it's here to stay, and it's going to have an even bigger impact on our lives in the future. And I thought I'd just ask you, because you're in a kind of unique position with your with the level of role you're doing and the people you're talking to on a daily basis. How you feel information that's being gathered from BI and data is going to assist finance functions in the future.
Now we see clearly a big trend. We talk to that every day with our client and prospect. Clearly, there is more and more pressure on the finance department to present clear and high-level information, which has to be, of course, accurate to top management, to the board of directors, and so on. And with that, our solution, CCH Tagetik, has a robust analytical tool and also dashboard, and also with connector to the best tool of BI on the market. And with all that, we can reduce the stress of the finance team to deliver all this information on time in a nice way to all the stakeholders. Okay. And at the end, with that, it helps the business and the manager to take better and more informed decision making. So it's very important to have that, and we are supporting that a lot. We are aware of this challenge. We do our best to help companies to do that. Among all this lot of data there, volume of data, to help them to get through and to pass it on to the stakeholders in a nice way.
And that's good. Again, it links back to what we've been talking about through the conversation. This platform helps to reduce the stress of people in their roles, which again helps them enjoy the roles more and deliver better quality work and helps the team ethics. So it all joins together actually quite nicely on that side, and I think if you can reduce the stress and fear of somebody's job, then you're going to get the best out of them as a person. And I guess we're talking now about the current and future technology, but I thought I'd try sort of end the conversation around the more tried and traditional qualifications. So clearly, you've been a ACC ambassador for Switzerland for the last 12 years. And I think anyone in finance knows the ACCA qualification. But for those who are listening outside of finance, the ACCA is the largest association of chartered accountants in the world, with over 200,000 members across the globe. So it's a huge institution. So we're moving from talking about the new technology to something that's been established for a number of years. So I thought I'd just ask you, what was your driver and motivation to go into that ambassador role for Switzerland 12 years ago, and really what you've taken from it over this time?
Yeah, Paul, very clear question. So basically, ACCA, my qualification, and I passed it in 2001, so it's 21 years ago, but helped me a lot at that time with my different role I had, working for the Swiss Exchange, in banking, in Big Fours. It has been so helpful to be really understand well the finance world in a broad sense. And since I got this offer from ACCA 12 years ago to be ambassador, it's important for me to give back to ACCA what they gave to me with a nice education. So this is why I decided to accept their request in 2010 to be ambassador for Switzerland. And what does it mean to be ambassador? It means to organize every year 10 events in Zurich and Geneva on hot topics in accounting, tax, IT, human resource, so very broad there, in Zurich and Geneva. Of course, at the COVID time, we couldn't, but before and after we are doing that. And every time we are getting together 150 ACCA people to take part to this event in Zurich and Geneva. And tonight, I will have the next event with EY on the EMEA area with 160 participants there at EY. So it is the biggest event in one city we have ever had in Switzerland. It's very exciting. And there I will have the pleasure to do the intro and also to moderate the roundtable with the speakers for the audience and involve the audience to ask that question to the experts. It's a really fun role. I love doing it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's something you love doing and it's fun, and that's why it's been successful. I mean, you mentioned the event tonight. I thought I'd ask you, maybe you may not know the answer to this, but for the next kind of 6 months or so, do you have also something in the diary for the next 6 to 12 months? I know you mentioned there's 2 events a year, but any specific dates yet lined up?
Yes, I'm working with another Big Four for an event in December about ESG and supply chain, and with another Big Four in April in the accounting area. Mm-hmm. So it's and then I'm working already 6 months ahead to prepare, and every time it is in Geneva and in Zurich. And we also organize apéro for Christmas and for before the summer, to also have just a gathering of people together and having this community. We're helping each other to exchange about what they do in Switzerland, about job, about private life. And it's nice to bring these people together. And over the years, many of them are becoming good friends as well.
No, it's great. Great to see, and we'll obviously make sure we try to promote or highlight some of these things that are coming up as well, to make sure the network hear about these events that are in the pipeline. And I mean, I know obviously we've talked about your current role, talked about some of the things you've been involved in with the ACCA work, but obviously you've also been a professor at Basel University and done a master's there as well in corporate finance. So, again, was there something that kind of drove that for you?
So what I'm doing there, Paul, is I am lecturing for an executive master in corporate finance. So basically, my students are experienced finance professionals with 5, 10, even 20 years of experience doing next to their job, this executive master. So it's really fun because they bring in the lecture a lot of experience, which means we can have a very exciting exchange about the topic, very practical. And I like this exchange. I don't stick to my slides. I'm looking for an exchange with these experienced students. And there are every year 30 students. I mean, senior, but they're still students, but senior students, I would say. And I've been doing that for now 6 years. One of the highlights of my year. I love doing it and sharing with them my experiences that I've had as regulator at the exchange, IFRS expert at PwC, transaction expert at EY, financial analyst in a bank, and now a CEO of Tagetik Switzerland. So I can bring this experience every time on a topic, which bring variety and concrete example away from the finance book, but more with real life and real cases example, and they like that. That's what they expect from me, to share with them real life example to illustrate what the theory that I'm sharing with them.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's always, and you tend to see this trait in a lot of very successful people, is that when they get to a certain part in their career, but they want to give something back. I mean, you've got a lot of experience that you can pass on to the next, generation of future finance professionals, and I think it is great that you put this time in to help these individuals. And as you say, it ends up being one of the highlights of your year, as a result of that. And I think part of that is probably because you're giving something back as well, and that always creates a feel-good feeling to it as well, And I think, you obviously mentioned that's one of the highlights of your year. So what about the highlights of your career? What has been the highlight of your career to date?
Honestly, it's clearly the job I've been having for now 7 years as country manager Switzerland for CCH Tagetik, because I can, as you said in the intro very nicely, Paul, I can really bring there together many skills I've been developing before. And as I said, I wanted to be entrepreneur. It allowed me to be one and grow the business nicely, and also very important, in a sustainable way as well. Because if you don't have happy clients in Switzerland, everyone know each other, you cannot grow. You can stop and do something else. So important is really to have really happy customer. And I'm lucky because part of Wolters Kluwer, they give me the freedom to develop the business the way I want, to hire the people I want, to do the marketing event that I want, and so on. So having them at the back, at the same time, having the freedom to use this investment, this asset the way I want. And because the figures are very good, I have a trust to continue to do so. So I like to have them in my back. At the same time, I can still be free every day to do the things I want.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the things I was going to ask you, because I can imagine, there could be other individuals listening to this podcast who would like to do what you've done and go down this entrepreneur route. But, there are risk elements to it. And a lot of people, are put off or won't do it because they don't think they can, or the risk elements is too high and they prefer to stay in more in their comfort zone. I mean, is there any advice you might give to these people who, would think, I'd love to do what Jerome has done, but I can't do it because there's too much risk there? Because I guess it must have been something you at least thought about for a short period of time and gave it consideration for. I mean, what was your approach on that?
It's way to be close to the market, speaking to them, understanding what the market needs, and making sure you're addressing them with a team and develop around you an environment, a community of people to support you, of right experts to support you the best way, to bring really value to the client. Because at the end of the day, that's the client who is paying. And if he doesn't see the value, it will not work. So to be very clear on and very honest on what you will do, deliver on your promises, and make sure it's fine. Otherwise, if you are not close to that, and we have now in the team, we have 2 customer success managers as well to really, they are just there to make sure our clients are happy. And we didn't have that 7 years ago. We have that now. I'm very thankful for the great job on that. It's super important to have that. They are not there. They have no sales target at all. They just need to be there to make sure our clients are happy.
Mm-hmm. All right, interesting insight into this. And I guess before I move on to my last question, it's a question related also to yourself and how you deal with situations. I mean, I think obviously, as mentioned earlier, we all have the same amount of time to spend, and I just wondered, how you tend to spend your downtime, because I suppose it's one of those things that, the maybe unsuccessful people spend their downtime, binging on Netflix or scrolling on social media, and successful people tend to use that time to invest in themselves, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's reading, learning new things. Is there anything that is your go-to thing to do in your downtime?
Yes, clearly the fitness. I go a lot to the fitness there to get my energy also out in the right balance. Swimming, and in the summer a lot of golfing, which allow me to be focused and forget about the business. So really the golfing in the summer. And in the winter, if you are in Flims, ski resort Flims, in the weekend, you will see me every weekend skiing there with my friends. Another way as well to enjoy the nature with my family there and friends. It's really a very good time to do so. I need all that clearly to keep the right balance and come back on Monday morning with the right energy for my team and for my clients.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of leads me on to my last question, really, because all this focus and drive that you can bring, we talked a bit about where the business is now and the great things you're doing. And I just wonder what the biggest challenge is for the business going forward that you're going to be dealing with.
Well, I mean, when you're part of a group and they're used that you are delivering growth, you need to continue to bring this growth. So you could tell me, well, does it make you nervous? The answer is, actually not. And I will tell you why. Because with the team I have now, built around me, who are just amazing experts, our 10 partners to implement Tagetik, who are also extremely good and know very well our solution in the market, I feel good. I'm not nervous about it. And the good thing in our business, there are a lot of very good but solutions who are coming to an end, in our IT space. They will need to be replaced. And with the team I have, the solution we have, which is one of the best in the world according to Gartner, with the client we have, who can be the reference and speak about us, I'm very relaxed that we will continue to grow in a nice way and make sure we deliver quality and on time.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, no, I think that's a great way to end the podcast. So hopefully, we've delivered a quality podcast and we finished on time as well, dead on the hour, which was agreed. So I think we've covered all the angles there. But a huge thanks for being on the show today, Jerome. As I say, when we promote the podcast, we'll make sure we put a link to your page and the business page in there so that people can easily reach out to you and ask any questions that they have on the product and service that we've been talking about. But I know the network will take a huge amount from this. So it's been great to have you on the show today. And kind of wish you all the best for all the challenges that you've got coming up, and especially tonight as well at the event.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerome. Speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye. Bye.